Hey everyone, we're taking a break from our AFI countdown this week to bring you even more New York Comic Con coverage. Before we dive in, please make sure to subscribe to our channel. We have a lot more Comic Con coverage, interviews, and other great videos coming your way. If you were a kid in the 90s, well, I guess even if you were an adult comic fan in the 90s, then you loved the X-Men animated series that ran on Fox for 5 glorious seasons. From 92 to 97, an incredibly talented team created a series that was an absolute love letter to the X-Men franchise. This year at Comic-Con, we got to attend a panel for a new book, aptly described as a tome, of artwork from the animated series. This massive hardcover book not only delivers art you would have seen as a fan of the show, but never before behind-the-scenes look at some of the concept drawings, layouts, scale drawings, storyboards, models, cells, promotional, and production materials. The book was helmed by Eric Lewald, who was a major part of the panel. Lewald was also an integral part in making the X-Men series as a lead writer. This panel did an amazing job of promoting the book, and this book would make an excellent coffee table art piece. But it wasn't just a commercial for the book. The people who helmed the panel assembled a team of writers and illustrators who created a large portion of my childhood, and it was really exciting to see them all together, and it struck all the right nostalgia chords. So the lead designer from the series, Rick Hoberg, was also on the panel. Hoberg was tasked with taking the detailed and colorful X-Men of that era and translating them for animation. Some things had to be simplified, but the creators behind the show wanted to keep the quality high and the art exciting. There was some pushback on the studio for various reasons on the art choices, but Hoberg dug in, and along with the showrunners, they found a look and feel that they loved and would allow the still images in the comic book to come to life in fluid animation on the small screen. They knew that if they did a disservice to the designs and costumes and oversimplified it, they would lose the readership. So along with coming up with the basic looks of the characters, Hoberg and his art team had to design every last detail on every last thing. The core animation was outsourced overseas, but the animators never worked on anything so complex. Drawings for scale, for backgrounds, locations, weapons, the Sentinels, character outfits, even down to a background girl's chili fries when she was sitting in the mall food court, had to be meticulously drawn out and sent to the animation houses for reference. The episodes were so complex and took so long to produce, like 4 or 5 months per 20-minute episode, that the writers had to write standalone stories, so if there was a delay in one episode, it could be bumped and another one could take its place. It worked out really well for the creative team, sound mixers, voice actors, everyone involved, until the writers decided they wanted to tackle the Dark Phoenix saga. A saga which they nailed, and which has not been done properly in live action, despite multiple attempts. So locking in a strict episode order turned the pressure way up on the entire team. An episode could no longer be bumped, so that the next one in line that had let's say fewer production problems. Remember, all of this was hand-drawn, no computer assistance whatsoever. Hand-drawing a single image could have as many as 7 cells. These cells would be stacked to deliver the final product. These stacked cells would cycle every 1/12 of a second. You do the math, because I don't want to. Because of the complexity in story, telling the roughly 40-page script would become a storyboard of about 900 images. Sometimes Hoberg had to do these storyboards completely on his own. To save money in the animation, because man-hours in hand-drawn animation are incredibly expensive, the team used a tactic made famous by animation superstar Jay Ward. We know it today as something akin to motion comics. It limited some range of motion for certain scenes where creative workaround could be implemented. One prime example they gave was Mr. Sinister would kind of come out of the shadows, say his piece, laugh, and fade back in instead of walking in and out of the frame. This panel was expertly led, and in the short time panels have been forced online, the technology has come a long way. They serviced a lot of guests, and it was a painless process with nice switches between who was getting the focus, no jitters or anything. It really made the panel that much more enjoyable because you didn't have the technology distracting you from the content. The men and women behind the series who were on the panel gave generations something to love, and the love and appreciation they had for the series was palpable even through the live stream. It was awesome to see the unique works, but it was even cooler to be able to step back into a fond childhood memory in a new light. Loving this stuff is what a Comic-Con is all about, whether it's virtual or not. X-Men, the art and making of the animated series, is out now. Why don't you go to SoWizardPodcast.com, click on that Amazon link, and pick it up. It's under $40, and it's tons of content. Make sure you listen to So Wizard Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. So Wizard Podcast can also be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month you get bonus episodes. SoWizardPodcast.com is loaded with reviews, recommendations, all new merchandise, and more. We love hearing feedback, so drop us a note in the comments or leave us something on social media. All of our accounts can be found after the show and in the show notes. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for a lot more New York Comic Con 2020 coverage.